All right, so let's do this. Yes, it is time for more Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 news and updates for you all. I have returned today with what seems to be our very first look at new Chaos customization. Never before seen designs have emerged from the official Space Marine 2 art book. Yeah, these things are not currently in the game. And devs also respond about worries the game will be exploited as a cash grab eventually with tons of emerging microtransactions. Plus, will Horde Mode be more than a team of 3? And devs respond and give an explanation as to what's going on here. And Saber CEO responds to Osmongold as well. And what about PC performance improvements and why adding Chaos PvE isn't as simple as first thought? And yeah, I'm going to go over your top comments. So be sure to leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. But let's get into this right here. Check it out. Early concept of PvP Chaos Armor, a possible sneak peek for things to come. And you know what? I do think that it is very likely we will actually see some of these in the game eventually because, yes, this is from the official Space Marine 2 art book. Let me know which one is your favorite. This is badass right here. Look at this. This one's pretty wild looking. But yeah, some very cool, unique stuff going on here. And we got this take here. See, this is why I'm fine with classes being region locked, assuming this is what Chaos customization will be like, rather than dedicating most of the cosmetic options just to give each class the basic aesthetics of each legion. I'd rather they dedicate the cosmetics to expand upon the pre-existing legion aesthetics of each class, instead of having each class look like basic Marines of a single legion. Even if it's my favorite legion, I'd prefer them to look like the most elite and decorated members of their respective legion. Do you guys agree with that assessment or not? Or do you wish it was even opened up more? Sound off in the comments below. But you know what? There was other indication as to what we could see in the future as well. Check it out. It says, in one of the promotional images, Saber included a Space Wolf sniper with Grey Hunter knee markings. This is not in the game. Season 3 cosmetic pack confirmed. He's the dude to the right here, the one with the sniper rifle. And yeah, that would be absolutely badass to see this end up in the game as well. And it was noted here in the intro cutscene, Titus is accompanied by a Dark Angel, a Space Wolf, a Black Templar, and a Blood Angel. I feel like this is a teaser for the confirmed cosmetic packs. Perhaps. Then also is noted the sniper also has the plasma pistol, which it does not have now. That is definitely different. Maybe that was kind of like an older concept art that made it into marketing. You never know. Or maybe he will eventually get the plasma pistol down the road. That's complete speculation. But this is another really cool piece here. It says, would really love to see the Black Sword in future DLCs as a skin. It can be the reward for completing the mission in highest difficulty, True Champion of the Emperor. This I would love to see. I really hope they do something like that. All right, so let's get into some of the new dev replies as well out on Twitter. And here we go. It says, I love the universe. I love the 40K universe, and I will be very angry if they exploit our love for it to make money. I will not support that. And the response is this: I can assure you with full confidence that there will be no exploitation. If you could see the love for 40K in the office, you would be worry-free. Whatever we do next, it will be out of love for the IP, not for quick cash. I honestly feel like it's in pretty good hands right now. Currently, they have so much respect for the community. Just by the way they are communicating with the community right now gives me a lot of hope. Now, also mentioning that, yes, Osmongold has been playing Space Marine 2, and he was complimenting the game and, you know, basically its old school nature. And we have a response here from the CEO. Check it out right here. Saber Interactive CEO responds to Osmongold's video. So it says this: hey man, CEO of Saber here. I love your videos. When we signed the deal to make Space Marine 2, all I wanted was a throwback to the game. We had the chance to work on something which, by its nature, was old school. I can't even comprehend many of the current games that we play these days. They're too complex and too much of an investment. We worked on Halo back in the day, and that game could be distilled down to the simplest of shooting loops, but it was entirely addicting. That is what we wanted to recapture. I hope that games like Space Marine 2 and Wukong are the start of a reversion to a time when games were simply about fun and immersion. I spent some time as Chief Operating Officer at Embracer, and I saw games there that made me want to cry with their overblown attempts at messaging or imposing morals on gamers. We just want to do some glory kills and get the heart rate up a little. For me, that is what games should be about. I love it. Lately, you know, in the past few years, I have become exhausted by some of these extremely overbloated games that have systems on systems, and my brain just like, I don't know, it hurts sometimes where I'm like, damn, all I want to do is relax. And it's nice to have, you know, a game like Space Marine 2 as an option. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there is a certain level of depth, but you know what I mean? It's not going to be super insane, like where you have to like do math upon math just to even get anywhere and crunch tons of numbers. Sometimes, you know what? My brain is fried and I just want to enjoy the hell out of the game and have a good time. And I've noticed a lot of people are saying the same thing. It's wonderful to see that they are heading back in that direction with a lot of these games. Now, we also have this one right here. Could we have a third helmet visibility option off while in battle bars, on while in a mission? And the response is this: good idea, automatic switching based on preference. Please submit this via focus and we can log it for sure. So yeah, you know, that I do love that idea, to be able to see your character, and it would be neat also be able to customize your character's face a little bit more as well. They did say that's something they would consider. I don't feel like that might be on their super priority list. It's more like a nuanced type thing. But yeah, they're considering stuff like this. Also, it says, will Horde Mode be a 3 players versus AI? Would be cool to add 1 or 2 more player slots so I can play with more of my friends at once. Here's the response. We don't currently have plans to increase player cap. More players means more enemies, means more processing, etc. Please do submit your request for this feature via Focus website, though, because who knows, maybe we could do it. But yeah, I wouldn't count on that currently, because you got to remember the current infrastructure of the game right now is where you squad up with a total of 3 players. All modes need to support that because of the seamless nature of being able to be the squad leader and switching between all the modes. So you can go from PvE, operations, to PvP, and then to eventually the Horde mode. And to kind of break that, yeah, that would not be good. And it would go against, I think, the mission statement that perhaps they have from the development side of things, you know? Not to say it wouldn't be cool to see a bigger mode, don't get me wrong, but I think that would be reserved for major expansion. All right, next up, we have this one right here. Hey, are you guys planning on improving the PC performance? Really like it so far, but performance is meh. We have the reply here. We're constantly looking at ways to improve the whole package. Focus will announce patches when they are deployed, so you can be sure to update and improve whenever possible. So that is going to be something that will be happening. They're going to be fine-tuning that performance as we go. And is there any ideas down the pipeline or in the roadmap for chaos operations? Understandable, that could cause more conflict within the story unless you're Alphorius. I want to give you and your team top praise. The love you and the team put into it is amazing. Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. I've heard a lot of requests for Chaos PvE. It would be a huge undertaking, needing proper voiceover, animations, and balancing, and not to mention a loyalist opponent, so we would need to think hard about resources first. I agree, it would be great though. So yeah, not only would it be a huge undertaking on the side of developing the actual characters, they would want to give the Chaos Marines an actual new enemy to face off against for story reasons. So in this way, to me, they really want to take care of the universe. They want everything to matter, to be kind of cemented in this Warhammer reality, I guess you would say. And I personally love that about this Space Marine franchise currently, is how they really take their time with the details. All right, next up, we have this one right here. Let me know if you guys agree with this or not, but this has 2,400 upvotes, and I was wondering if this was going to happen. In my initial first video I did about Space Marine 2, I did mention this. I did get some blowback, some hate about it, but check it out right here. It says, PvE operations are where the longevity of the game is, in my humble opinion. Don't get me wrong, the PvP is fun, but to me, it feels very much like a PS3 360 era experience of it being an additional fun feature, part of the package, rather than the focus. The coolest elements, the power, fantasy, and spectacle of Space Marine 2 is in PvE, where you and your brothers beat impossible odds with ultra violence. The finishers, parrying, dodges, swarms, and teamwork come into focus in PvE against enemy NPCs. It is really good and scratches an itch similar but different than Darktide. I hope devs' focus goes to more ops missions, enemies, bosses, etc. Got 2,400 upvotes once again. Here's a reply. PvE will be the focus of this game. Given that the game engine is literally called Swarm, or how many NPCs it can run, and Saber also developed the World War Z game, a zombie shooter, which are mostly, if not entirely, PvE based, it kind of is hard to see how PvE wouldn't be the focus of this game, especially when you look at the roadmap and every single season of it has something PvE related. And I do not want them to neglect PvP whatsoever. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm curious about how much time you guys are spending in the modes. That's my biggest question right now, because yeah, of course we have year one laid out for us post-launch, what's going to be happening there. We are still getting some PvP stuff related to that, but we don't know what they're doing in year two. My question is, would you like them to double down on focusing up on PvE content in that year two, as opposed to like being like 50-50 down the middle with PvE and PvP updates? Sound off your take on this one. Very curious to know what you guys think. But yeah, now it's time to go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It can end up right here in a future video. So let's do this. All right, first comment is this one right here. I just don't understand why Space Marine 3 is even being mentioned. We just got this game. The reason why it's being mentioned is because a lot of people are asking for a lot of different features. And I think right now the dev team are trying to meet your expectations and also give you little warnings about, hey, this sort of thing won't make it into the game. I'll be reserved for Space Marine 3. But don't worry, we will be focused up primarily on post-launch content for Space Marine 2 for quite some time. So that's the message I'm hearing currently. Yeah, you know, I imagine on some drawing board in their office, they do have some ideas swirling around what they want to do with Space Marine 3. It's kind of like in the conceptual stages, of course. But yeah, when it comes to actual work, they're probably putting a lot of time, most of their time, into Space Marine 2. All right, so here we go. We have this one right here. What I learned today is Games Workshop is holding the devs back from giving us more crazy cool shit. Ooh, shots fired at Games Workshop. A lot of guys are frustrated that certain cool features aren't apparently going to be making into the game because, yeah, they have to go back to the tabletop. They got to respect the universe. Makes a lot of sense. I get where they're coming from, but you guys also want a bit more freedom with certain things like customization and other things. So yeah, definitely an interesting dynamic where the developer has to communicate with Game Workshop, and then of course there's us on the other side of it, and they have to find a way to, you know, bridge that gap and make us happy. Yeah, and I think as a developer, you'd have to have a lot of patience doing that sort of thing, you know? And a lot of passion as well. There was another comment kind of like spoiling the story. I'm not going to get into it, but I did want to open up a question to you guys. Are you guys done with the story? Are we beyond, you know, spoilers at this point? Can we talk about that? Because there are comments I'm noticing from you guys that do consistently mention themes around the ending, but I also want to respect those of you guys that work and trying to get through the story. Maybe some of you are holding out on that and you're finally to the finish line. You don't want stuff spoiled. So sound off. Let me know if we're good to go at this point to talk about some spoilers. But I want to be careful. All right, next up, it says, in terms of the PvP process, we need to not go back to the battle bars after every match. After a match ends, give us a menu screen where we can requeue and have access to the armoring hall. Most of the load time is just loading in and out of battle bars, as it has a full environment with features to load. Listen, I think there's reasons for that. There is going to be a battle bars expansion. We don't know all the details about that, by the way, but they're going to be doing something there that I'm very curious about. Yeah, I'll keep you guys in the know, but I think the battle bars are going to become more and more important down the road. We'll see. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more Space Marine 2. I have you guys covered, and I will see you all next time. Take care.